in a shocking show of high-handedness, a Maharashtra lawmaker upset over the quality of dal served to him at an MLA canteen in Mumbai assaulted the canteen operator, hitting him on the face and punching him so hard that he fell on the floor. The incident at the Akashvani MLA canteen in Churchgate is now viral. It was caught on camera, a video clip raising questions about the conduct of elected representatives in public. The MLA, however, said he doesn't regret his act and said this was the Shiv Sena style. I'm quoting him here. Sanjay Gaikwad, MLA from Buldana, had ordered dal. When the order was delivered, he found that the dal was stinking. A towel wrapped around his waist, the MLA went to the canteen and started asking the staff about who prepared the dal. He was then seen calling people and asking them to smell the packet. You can see this in the visuals that are playing out on your screens at the moment. The MLA also said he had some of the dal and experienced stomach cramps and uneasiness. The MLA is seen getting impatient, waiting for the canteen operator. But when NDTV approached the MLA, he said the dal was not stale, it was rotten. But here's the crucial part. Asked if such conduct suits an MLA, he replied, and I quote, "I am an MLA and a warrior too. When someone chose not to understand despite repeated attempts, I used the language Bala Sahib Thackeray has taught us." He added, and I quote, "I lost it. I'm a champion in judo, gymnastics, karate and wrestling. I am not a Gandhian. I have no regrets." My colleagues Radhika Ramaswamy and Anuj Raite have been tracking all the finer developments for us. Radhika joins us live at the moment. Radhika, take us through exactly what triggered the altercation between Sanjay Gaikwad and the canteen staff.
That's right. In that video, we can see very, very clearly how Sanjay Gaikwad takes law into his hands. In fact, he goes ahead and bashes that person up, the canteen worker. He slaps him, he punches him because the food was stale. Of course, he makes people smell the food. He says how stale it is and that he's been giving complaints to the grievance cell there, and he'd made multiple complaints in the past, but despite that, nothing improves, and therefore he decides to resort to violence and beats these poor canteen workers up. And when Abhishek Awasthi confronted him, asked him about how, as a legislator, as a representative of a constituency, how could he beat people up, and what is the kind of example he's setting with that, he says that he doesn't regret it. There's absolutely no remorse coming from the side of that MLA, which is what is shocking. Of course, people could do things out of rage. Sometimes people do apologize after that, but he says that he does not regret what he did and that he will continue doing this, if food continues to be stale in that particular canteen. So over stale food, a man was beaten up. So there is VIP thuggery that's on display, no doubt about it. And the fact that this man knows he can get away with it. He is not new to controversies. He's, said things in the past which were absolutely unacceptable and controversial as well, but this time he went ahead and beat a person up, bashed that poor canteen worker, and nothing that he says really justifies what he did. He continues to say that he's a farmer, he knows how the food must taste, and that he knows martial arts, and therefore if they do not improve their services, then I will go ahead and beat these people up, and I do not have any sort of regret. So this really shows the impunity with which the VIP culture is at play in the state of Maharashtra, and not just here but across, and we've been seeing such instances in the past as well. But the big question is, will some action be taken against this individual? What will be the statement of Eknath Shinde? What will Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis do? Any sort of disciplinary action be taken? That remains to be seen. Also, can an FIR be registered? Because in the previous instances of VIP thuggery and high-handedness, there were cases registered, but no stricter sections were added to that FIR, which is why these people got away. They're just called into the police station and they're released immediately. But in this case, we'll really have to see what will happen, because this man is a leader, an MLA, represents a constituency, part of the government. A lot being expected out of Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, who also happens to be the Home Minister of the state, and of course from Eknath Shinde as well.
Right, Radhika, thanks so much for joining us with the latest. Anuj Raite is also tracking the finer developments of this story for us. Meanwhile, Priyanka Chaturvedi has emphasized that last year Sanjay Gaikwad had threatened and announced 11 lakh rupees to anyone who cuts off Rahul Gandhi's tongue. She's highlighted now this man is seen beating up a helpless canteen worker. In fact, joining us over the phone line at the moment, Priyanka Chaturvedi, MP from the UPD Shiv Sena faction. Also joining us, national spokesperson, Shiv Sena, the Shinde faction, Susie Ben Shah. Thank you so much for making time for us. Our focus remains on where the accountability begins and why everyone is silent until the cameras roll. Well, Susie Ben Shah, to you first. Sanjay Gaikwad is a sitting MLA under your banner. Is slapping a canteen worker over food a reflection of the governance style your party promotes?
Thank you for having me. A very good morning to all, and it's always a pleasure to be on NDTV. While it's on the face of it, of course, you cannot hit anyone. We abhor violence. But what was the reference to context? Everything will be looked into, and action will be taken as necessary. There cannot be two ways about it, that whether it be Shiv Sena, whether it be the BJP, the entire Mahayuti government, including the Ajit Dada, have stood for the rule of law, and it will be applied equally, whosoever and howsoever and whatever position you are in. Let there not be any confusion over that issue.
From the MLA, no action from your party, silence from the Deputy Chief Minister, Mr. Shinde. Why? Is this approval of VIP arrogance?
No, that's not the point. Here the question is, it has to be properly investigated, and it will be investigated. You see, let me understand that. If we are not a banana republic, we don't decide a course of action on a TV phono. It has to be looked into. It will be looked into, and necessary action will be taken. There cannot be knee-jerk decisions. Give us time. Necessary action will be taken.
There can't be knee-jerk reactions, but that's exactly what Mr. Gaikwad is seen doing, disapproving of dal and then throwing punches. You often accuse others of politicizing issues, but when your own MLA is caught on the wrong side of the law, your party is actually quiet. Why the double standard, ma'am?
No, there is no question of any double standard. Again, this has come in the light this morning. We will look into it. You don't expect me to give a statement or decide the course of action while sitting on a TV studio. You have to, investigation has to be done. Mr. Kasap was given 1 year. 1 year. It was an open and shut case. But rule of law must be followed. We are not a banana republic. Let us understand.
But Mr. Gaikwad is an elected representative. What message are you sending when an MLA can allegedly hit a staffer inside a state-run guest house and still face no disciplinary action? I do agree that this video has come to surface just this morning, a few hours ago, but no disciplinary action, no message from Mr. Shinde, no official reaction from your party.
As far as for the last 2-3 days, we believe that Marathi language is our spirit, is our soul. We stand for the culture of Marathi language and the Marathi people. We condemn and abhor violence. Has UBT condemned violence conducted by office bearers, I would say criminals, then the office bearers of Manse, even one? And here we are condemning. Yes, you must speak Marathi. Marathi, Mumbai, Maharashtra is our karma bhumi, आणि म्हणून आपल्याला मराठी बोलायलाच पाहिजे आणि शिकायला पण पाहिजे. I agree, but taking law in your own sort of way, has Ubata condemned in unequivocal terms about the violence which is going on? Have they done that? So why this double standards? Why this duplicity? Ubata is use and throw party. That is what they do. That is what they do. The duplicity, they talk something, do something, never walk the talk.
Well, I wish we had Ms. Chaturvedi to offer a rebuttal, but I seem to have lost that line with Priyanka Chaturvedi, who was joining us. But ma'am, as the ruling party in Maharashtra, shouldn't the burden of setting the tone for political conduct actually start with you?
Absolutely. I don't deny it. I don't deny it at all. You cannot hit anyone. Cannot hit anyone. I do agree. Especially, and this applies across board. But yes, if anyone humiliates the Marathi language or insults the Marathi language, then of course it's a different story. But in this case, we have to understand what was the matter. What was the matter? It will be acted upon.
Right. So then will you publicly call for an inquiry or even suspension for Sanjay Gaikwad pending investigation? Or are party lines more important than public accountability?
2-3 hours, lady, 2-3 hours. Give us some time. Don't worry.
Okay. Right.
What is fair, just and right will be done.
We certainly hope so, because these are dramatic visuals of Sanjay Gaikwad, representatives in public office who should not be acting like this at all. Whether the Shinde faction publicly calls for an inquiry or suspension of Sanjay Gaikwad, that remains to be seen. We are told that in a few hours, the party is expected to release an official statement and react and take further action. Whether party lines are more important than public accountability, that remains to be seen. We also have Abhishek Avasthi, who's been tracking the finer developments for us. Abhishek joins us live at the moment. Abhishek, how is the ruling alliance responding to back-to-back violence incidents? MNS's Mira Road assault, now this.
Yeah, definitely, as we interacted with the MLA, it was clear he has no regret to the entire incident. And if you also see what is more disturbing, and what I want to highlight is, if you look to the viral video that is going around in the social media, it is not only the MLA. Definitely it's a big question that MLA taking law in his own hand, it is not acceptable. Secondly, we have his supporters around. If you look at that video, there are few of his supporters also hitting the manager, and that's more concerning. Being an MLA, you take the law in your hand. At the same time, you have your people around who are also beating him. So it's a big concern, and definitely question will be raised when it comes to the law and order situation, because back-to-back things are happening in the state of Maharashtra, but it is unacceptable. What we hear from our Chief Minister is that anyone who will take law in his hand, action will be initiated. Now we will have to wait and watch out for what kind of action against Mr. Sanjay Gaikwad is being taken, or at least it will be condemned by Mahayuti together.
Meanwhile, Abhishek, I understand that you are at the canteen where this entire episode took place. Are there eyewitness accounts or other CCTV footage confirming this assault? And what are people saying in the canteen where you are?
Definitely this is the morning peak hours, and at this time there is a huge rush inside. And we had tried to speak to the staff out there. Everyone was of the opinion that definitely there could be something which is not acceptable, or the food item which was served was spoiled or anything of that sort. But justifying violence is not right, and that too by MLA. MLA is not acceptable, and people over here who are having their breakfast, they also said that definitely there is a need of improvement for this canteen, but the way MLA has beaten up the manager is not acceptable. We have also gone inside the kitchen. We have also looked how the food is being cooked. So definitely, no doubt, the other side of it should also be focused on, that there is a need to improve the food quality which was served, but at the same time you cannot justify violence, and that too, being an MLA, taking law and order in your hand is not acceptable.
Absolutely. Meanwhile, Abhishek, what is the condition of the staff member who was assaulted? Has he spoken to the media or police officials?
Definitely, we are trying to track him down, getting his details, because as of now, see, people over here, first we'll have to understand it's a government canteen, and people over here work in their shift. So the video, we believe, is of yesterday night, and definitely that manager was of the second shift. So he might be coming in the afternoon.
Okay.
We'll try to track him down. We'll try to understand whether he has lodged any police complaint or any other resort that is possible for him to do. But at the same time, the way things have happened in this canteen, definitely on the side that MLA has taken the law in his hand is not acceptable. On the other side also, we'll have to look at that. There is a lot improvement required when it comes to the quality of food that is being served here.
Yes, you've mentioned that, Abhishek. Thanks so much for joining us with the latest. from Ground Zero. Anuj Raite is also with us, tracking all the latest developments. Anuj, is the party distancing itself from Gaikwad's actions or standing by him? Are other MLAs supporting or condemning his behavior privately or off record?
I'm here in Vidhan Bhavan where we just had Senior Minister from Shiv Sena, Shambhuraji Desai, talk about how the proceedings of the House are going to begin in a short while from now onwards. And he said that the party will look into this matter with close detail, and if required, they will also take this up to Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis and Deputy Chief Minister Eknath Shinde, the leader of the party. However, Shambhuraji Desai did not comment on whether the party supports this line or does not support this line, but they are only maintaining the fact that this will be taken up. He reiterated on how they need to understand both the sides. What video shows might be the one side of it. So one can clearly see that a similar pattern is being followed by the party, even in another kind of a Punchgate scandal that is unfolding in front of us right now, where although there is a direct video evidence of what has unfolded, and yet the party would be willing to wait for longer. Of course, they would be there because the video has only been out for an hour and a half. So they would be waiting for a clear directive from the party on what exactly their line is going to be. We have Yogesh Kadam here with us. Mr. Kadam, what would we say to Sanjay Gaikwad? We've seen that his video has gone viral of hitting a canteen worker.
I think the due complaint should have been filed. He did not have to take the law in his hand. Thank you.
That was Yogesh Kadam, Minister of State Home Department, in a rush to attend the assembly right now, made it very clear that a due complaint should have been filed and violence should have been avoided. Of course, we'll get a more elaborate statement on what the party stand is going to be on this entire matter. But there we heard it from the first official, first minister who is very closely linked to this. He's the Minister of State for Home Department, talking about how due process should have been followed instead of matters being taken into his own hands by Sanjay Gaikwad.
Thanks to Anuj Raite, we have the first official reaction from Yogesh Kadam, stating that complaints should have been filed and that Sanjay Gaikwad didn't have to take the law in his own hands. Anuj Raite getting you the latest reaction from Yogesh Kadam outside the Vidhan Sabha there. Anuj, meanwhile, is there a pattern of unchecked aggression emerging under the Mahayuti government? What is the local sentiment?
That has been the case, especially because we've been following how VIP hooliganism has been on a rise here in Maharashtra. And of course, what happened with the MNS, there were the workers of the MNS party involved. And later on, the person who was involved in the Andheri, that heinous thing that unfolded in Andheri, there as well, we see that there was no direct involvement of a party position holder as such, but someone related to a party position holder. But here in this case, we have not just an MLA, a sitting MLA, but a sitting MLA from the ruling dispensation. And we've also been covering about how Shinde Sena's role in this entire language row, which has led to violence in certain pockets of the city or of the MMR region, has been very tricky. Yesterday also we saw Pratap Sarnaik, one of their ministers, in a way defied the order put by Devendra Fadnavis, Chief Minister and Home Minister, and rushed to the protest spot only for him to not getting allowed in the protest. And now this matter is unfolding. Of course, from what we've gathered from the little conversations that we've had, either with a couple of ministers or with the spokesperson, we are made to understand that the party directive is not there in place yet. They would be waiting for what exactly is going to be the stance of the party, especially because Shiv Sena Shinde faction has been having inconsistent views, have been having inconsistent approach towards a lot of matters that are unfolding in the state right now. But when you talk about unchecked violent acts here in the state, that is something that has been on the top of the agenda for the opposition, right? And it just does not involve the violent acts of slapping or of punching in the MMR region, but even go to certain heinous crimes. We've seen how the opposition last week, in fact, which was the first week of this entire monsoon session, talked about how the farmer suicide has been on top. They talked about how the cases against women, especially in the deeper pockets of the state, have been on a high, and the opposition has been protesting against it right here outside the assembly on those matters. So yes, the unchecked violence, not just of one sort, but of different nature across the state, has been something that the Mahayuti government, not just the current Mahayuti government, but even when Eknath Shinde was the chief minister for a couple of years, even then it was one of those contentious matters that was being discussed by the government, by the opposition. And of course, in the last 1 week, we are seeing in the backdrop of this entire language row, it has come to light yet again. And the role of the Home Department in this entire matter becomes interesting, because we've had ministers including Yogesh Kadam, Devendra Fadnavis in the earlier matters as well talk about how strong action will be taken, and then they in a way warn the people of not going about hitting people in different in different issues. But did they really walk the talk is the question. And and when they did it do equally for both the parties involved? These are certain questions that the opposition has been posing in front of the government. The government, of course, has been showing about how everything is in control at the moment, and about how they are keeping a view, or they are keeping a check on different kinds of acts getting unfolded across the MMR region. But such kind of incidents taking place pretty much on a regular basis now, with the direct involvement of an MLA from the ruling dispensation, probably makes us understand that the situation is far more serious than what the government wants us to think about it.
Indeed, and thank you so much for highlighting the latest details, contextualizing the information for us. Do stay on with us, Anuj, as I rope in Abhishek Awasthi for a quick update too. Abhishek, has an FIR been filed yet against the MLA or his associates? And if not, why? I'm also aware that you've spoken to Sanjay Gaikwad after this incident. Take our viewers through what he's told you.
See, definitely, as of now, whether any procedure to register FIR or even to register a complaint has taken place or not, that we will have to track it, because currently we are looking forward to where the manager is, whether he is in condition to file the FIR or to at least register a complaint. Remember, if you see the entire video, we will understand that he was very much nervous and he was afraid. And finally, by intervention of the people, you can see the staff members around, it was decided that please leave him, it will not happen again, and then he rushed out from the hotel. That can be clearly seen in that video. So I don't think maybe he will be in the position to go and register a complaint or an FIR against an MLA, or probably the person who is responsible for being in the assembly and making law for us, who is taking law in his own hand. So that is something difficult to confirm at this given point of time, though we will continue to track that, whether a complaint is launched or it could be turned into an FIR, and action will be initiated by the police, or what exactly is our Home Minister, that is the Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, will take action against his alliance partners MLA. That is something that we will have to wait, because the video has just gone viral since last night, and it was been on the social media platform since morning. And we have first spoken to him, NDTV spoke to him, and I directly confronted him and just asked a simple question: what, you are an MLA, if you take law in your own hand, will you justify the act? So he was telling clearly that I have several times complained about this kind of food served to me by this canteen, and they have not taken cognizance. So this time I have resorted to violence, and if they continue to do it, I will resort to the violence. And he labeled it as Shiv Sena style. So definitely, he firstly has no regret to the act what he has done. Secondly, he, on our camera, when we asked him, he clearly pointed out that I will continue to do so. I have no regret of my act.